Well, hello everyone. My name is Mitchellmander, and today we're going to be doing another impressions video on the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. This time, we'll be covering the latest episode, which is episode 131, Jessie vs. James, Battlefield of Truth and Love. And I'm just going to use their English names because I'm more familiar with that than their Japanese names. But anyways, that's besides the point. So, to get into what I thought about this episode, although I'm going to get into the battles. So, even though it was brief, I did kind of like Sophocles versus Mina. It was actually pretty surprising because I liked how it looked like Sophocles was... It looked like he was going to lose. Cutiefly was kind of destroying Vikavolt for a little bit there. But it managed to tank the attacks and managed to trap Cutiefly in a little trap. It came behind him after anticipating one of its moves and finish it off with a final move, winning the battle for Sophocles. So, I'm going to be completely honest. I'm actually surprised that they actually allowed Sophocles to win. I honestly figured that he was going to lose in the top 16, and I predicted that. And I guess that's another prediction that I got wrong. So, yeah, it was a pretty decent battle. One thing I would have liked to see is if his parents were there and acknowledged that he won. I think that would have been nice, but then again, at the same time, that didn't happen with Lana in the previous episode. So I'm not going to knock the episode off for that, but it would have been nice. Now, when it comes to Jessie versus James, I'm just going to be very brief on this one. I just think it was funny that before the actual match, Jessie was basically trying to make sure that she would win and James would lose. So that was kind of the plan, it seemed. And James didn't seem, he seemed very unmotivated. He's like, whatever, I guess I'm going to lose, so that's what my purpose is here. And I did like Jessie's little daydream she had about winning the league. But I just think it's funny how James was just like very nonchalant and just like, okay, whatever. They basically do a quick move, and it basically the match kind of goes nowhere. So they're going to give up, but Marini, giving James motivation to keep going, started actually fighting more seriously and managed to overpower Wobbuffet, and it flew like straight up in the air and crashed down, and I actually laughed a little bit. I thought that was funny, but I just thought it was interesting that they just like decided to just change their mind in the middle of the match. So it would have been nice if they would have had a little bit of a conversation afterwards, but they kind of just glossed over that and just moved on. So I'm actually kind of surprised they let James actually win this one. I was not expecting him to actually win. So, yeah, that's Sun and Moon for you. Very unpredictable. So, to get on to my favorite parts of this episode would be Acerola versus Kiawe and Gladion versus Lille. Now, I think Acerola versus Kiawe was one of the best battles in Sun and Moon, in the Sun and Moon Alola League so far. Not in all of Sun and Moon, but as of the Alola League so far, it's one of my favorite battles. And I really liked it because Acerola wasn't a pushover. She wasn't a joke. She had a totem Gengar from that one episode earlier, and about episode 73, I believe. So, yeah, she actually managed to give Kiawe a run for his money for a little bit by having Gengar get it with its cursed body ability. So it kind of trapped Marowak. And it took its bone, so it looked like Kiawe couldn't use like pretty much the majority of his moveset. So it seemed like Kiawe was kind of screwed here. But Kiawe had Marowak actually tank a few attacks that managed to reverse the cursed body ability out, and Marowak just jumps into Gengar and retrieves its bone. And what happens here is just amazing. And I really like what Kiawe and Marowak did to win this battle. It was really nice, and the animation was fantastic here. And with that, Gengar falls, and Kiawe is the winner, and he advances to the quarterfinals. And I have to say, I am very happy with how Kiawe is being treated in the league. I was very afraid before the league started that he would be a jobber character. So it's actually really nice to see that Kiawe is being treated very well in the Alola League. I was very afraid, but I'm very satisfied with how Sun and Moon's treating him here. He's actually a very competent trainer, and I love it. Thank you, Sun and Moon, for that. Now on to the other battle that I liked in this league. or in this episode, excuse me. Lille versus Gladion. It was a short battle, but it wasn't completely one-sided. It was kind of like Mallow versus Lana. But instead of that, you know, how that battle went, Lille was using some pretty good strategy with, I believe it was Hail first, and then she used a Snow Cloak as its ability, which was pretty nice. Good strategy there. But Gladion was able to, and Gladion and Umbreon, excuse me, were able to overcome it. So Lille realized that the only possible way that she could win it now is to use a Z move, which I like the animation here again. It's great. And it seems like it landed. It seemed like, oh wow, Lille actually defeated her brother. But in actuality, Umbreon tanked it, used Iron Tail, and scored a win. So overall, it was a nice battle. I also liked the interactions before with Lusamine embarrassing Lille beforehand. I thought that was funny. And I just liked their reaction at the end of the battle, where Lusamine acknowledges that Moen would be proud of her children to see how they've grown. And that was a nice touch, Sun and Moon. And I really like that they're emphasizing that. And lastly, we have the quarterfinal matchups, which is Gladion versus James, Ash versus Hao, Kiawe versus Sophocles, and Guzma versus Lana. And I at least got Guzma versus Lana right. I know that Ash versus Hao was obvious, but Gladion versus James and Kiawe versus Sophocles was a bit unexpected. So these should be some interesting matchups. So the episode ends with Rowlet seeing Decidueye and getting pumped up for the next battle, and I thought that was pretty interesting, an interesting scene. Now, to be very brief, what I didn't really care in this episode was actually Jessie and James's battle. While I did mention there were things I liked about it, it was really kind of a boring battle, to be honest with you. And I kind of felt like it kind of wasted time, to be honest. I mean, there were funny moments, but overall wasn't as interesting as the other battles. It's one of my least favorite battles in this league so far. And it kind of depresses me a bit because the episode is titled Jessie versus James, so you would think like Lana versus Mallow, it would be the main event. And it really wasn't. I mean, it had some funny moments, and interesting moments, but it really wasn't as great as what I was expecting it. So I unfortunately have to knock a point or two off for that. So unfortunately, the episode title didn't live up to it, which happens sometime in Pokemon. So yeah, unfortunately, that's my only gripe, and it's kind of a pretty decent one. So yeah, that's really only problem I had with the episode. So I'm gonna give this episode an 8 out of 10. So guys, what did you think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments, and what do you think? Just give me your thoughts, I guess. So if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will continue to cover the Alola League as we proceed. So that's all for this video. So that's it. Alrighty, have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.